So, I think we finally got the X-Men film by Fox that finally makes us, as the audience, go, oh, thank God Disney is going to come and fix all of this.
Okay, so the story of this film is that the X-Men go into space to help save this spacecraft. And I'm really struggling.
You watched this film, just say.
No. Okay. So the story of this film is that the X-Men go into space to save this group of astronauts. And why are you laughing?
I just don't know how you're struggling so much.
I don't know English, it's not my first language. And Jean Grey ends up absorbing all his power, which is a solar flare. And it's her struggling with this power that she has. And then the story is that the X-Men split sides into either trying to help her or kill her.
So in terms of strengths of this film, and there aren't that many, I'd say that the first scene is good, where they actually go into space. I like that. Quicksilver has a nice moment, Nightcrawler has a nice moment. And yeah, I also think that they use the powers really well. So like throughout, I mean, you see in most superhero films, you'll see like superheroes not use powers when they could have done, and it would have made the story easier. But in this film, you feel like they're doing as much as they can with their powers. Like in space, there's only so much they can do with their powers, and I think that works well. Because most of the time in other films, it's like, well, why didn't Apocalypse just, turn them into sand like he could have done the whole time?
The calibre of actors is really good as well. James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender are always really good together. Is that Magneto and Professor X?
Yeah.
Okay. And Sophie Turner is surprisingly good. Obviously, she's only known for Game of Thrones, and yeah, she was really good in this film.
I thought it should be rubbish. There's also really good action scenes. The train scene is really good, and it sort of shows all the mutants use their powers in a really cool way. And I also think it was different to The Last Stand, and they didn't just use the same sort of thing. They went down a different route, which, I mean, at least they tried. Like, you can give them that. So in terms of weaknesses, I'd have to say
Jesus,
just the rest of the movie. Oh yeah, there's 2 slides.
Oh my god.
So I'd say like the main villain in this film is very underdeveloped. And whilst I said that they did it well with the superhero powers, they didn't do it very well with the main villain powers. Because at the start you just see her like rip someone's insides or something just with a hand. And then they're just getting beaten up by like Nightcrawler, and it's like, well, why don't you just do the same thing you just did like at the start of the film? And I also think it was a bit like Fantastic, and they had too much of a short run time. Had studio being all up in the face about what to do. Decent first half, and then you can tell when the studio came in and there were reshoots, and the second half is just all over the place.
Yeah, the characters didn't act like they normally would. For example, Professor X in this film is very egotistical, and it actually makes him quite an unlikable character. Beast has a sudden change of heart and becomes murderous, and is like completely out of character, like I said. And then Nightcrawler, who's supposed to be this like young, kind, blue person thing, becomes like a mass murderer and goes complete psycho.
With like a creepy little face that runs around. A bit like the start of X2, but it's like, oh, where did that come from? Then Magneto has the same sort of art that he does in every film, and that he starts off on like a little farm. He's just enjoying his life, and then someone close to him dies, and I'm going to turn bad and kill everyone. I mean, we've seen it like so many times. And the timeline ruins this film, because Days of Future Past, you see in the end, you see Jean, you see Cyclops, you see Beast, so it's like, well, we know these characters aren't going to die. And yet, so it sort of takes away from that. And even if these characters did die in this film, it just ruined the timeline even more. I mean, the timeline is pretty screwed. I mean, Magneto's Michael Fassbender in 1992. And in 8 years, he's going to turn into Ian McKellen.
He goes through a lot of stress.
Same with James McAvoy and Patrick Stewart. It's like, where is this coming from then?
Yeah, it's not the greatest, is it?
So,
Sorry.
There's a lot of similarities to Captain Marvel in this film. So it's got this all, Jean Grey, you're too emotional in the final battle kind of thing, like Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, I forgot they did that.
It's also got shapeshifters who are using powerful women to take over the planet as theirs was destroyed, like Captain Marvel.
There's also something that Mystique says as well. Oh, it should be X-women and not X-men.
Oh yeah, that was a bit on the face. Women are always saving the men around here. It should be ex-women.
Yeah. That was like... Where'd that
Right.
come from?
Right, we get it. The Women's World Cup's on. Calm down. And it's also featuring a younger version of a main character who brought together the team, like Captain Marvel. So it's basically a trashy Captain Marvel. That's how I describe it.
So it missed a likeable protagonist to root for. So, you know, a great person of this film would have been Wolverine.
She always root for Wolverine, whereas in this one, I guess the main character's Jean, even though she's bad. I don't know. Like, I could have fallen asleep and came out probably happier, really. The cinematography and special effects are also really poor in some places. Special effects at some points are terrible. And the cinematography was just boring. Like, shot, reverse shot, like, they're saying interesting things, but I'm just not interested.
Mystique's makeup was very B-tech in this film.
B-Tech.
Yeah. And you can tell that Jennifer Lawrence hates being in the Mystique makeup because she's hardly ever blue in the film. And when she is, it just looks like crappy Halloween makeup that you get at a kid's birthday party.
Yeah. Quicksilver has the most interesting action, and yet he's not in the second half of the film. And like, he's my favourite character. So, well, in these films, obviously I like Wolverine and Deadpool, but in these X-Men films, Quicksilver's my favourite. And sort of went around saying that Jean was going to be scarier than Thanos, and I'm still waiting on that part because I don't really see much of that.
I wasn't scared of it. There's one scene that I thought, oh shit, they're going to proper beast her up there, and they just didn't. She became emotional afterwards.
I think the only thing scary about this film is the writing. Very dull, not a lot of stuff happens, and when it does, it seems out of place. Like, the train sequence, while it is good, it's like, where's this come from? I'm watching the same film. Apparently that was a reshoot, and I guess they sort of realised how crap it was, and were like, quick, let's do something to try and save it. However, it doesn't save the entire film. How do you take so long?
You've already said that one. Just do that one.
So it was like everyone was just like, right, Disney's buying us. We're over this. Let's just push out what we've got. Oh, what's that? The writers don't know what they're. It's all right. Disney, go on, Disney. You can do all this. We're gonna go away. Go on, Disney. So in terms of final verdict, I'm gonna give it a 2.5. What are you gonna give it?
You finish your point first, then I'll say mine.
So I think this series should have finished with Days of Future Past, and then maybe with Logan. I mean, definitely Logan's 6. So yeah, we finished it with Logan. Done Days of Future Past, not done Apocalypse, because Apocalypse just ruins it. Doesn't add anything, it just butchers the Apocalypse franchise. And then not done this at all. Please, they shouldn't have done this. But you know what they say, the night is darkest before the dawn. And I think Disney can do great things with this. I mean, we saw it with Batman. Batman and Robin was terrible. Then we got Batman Begins. And then we had Amazing Spider-Man 2. And then we got Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man in the MCU. So I guess it only could get better from here. Go on, why have you given it a 4 then?
Whoa, no spoilers. I give it a 4. Thought I'd just let you know that myself. Thank you very much. Because I thought it was really good. I watched the entire X-Men series in a week. And I've really enjoyed it, and I like Jean Grey, I like her character, so anything with her, I think.
Yeah, but you just like Game of Thrones, because that's why you like Sophie Turner.
No, I didn't like Sophie Turner in the film. I thought her American accent was shocking, but that's.
I think Sophie Turner was like the best thing about this film.
No, I really liked Magneto's part in the film and Mystique's part in the film, and I just thought the whole concept of it was really clever.
Magneto was just like
I just thought it was a bit questionable, the bad guys in the film.
Yeah, I don't know what they changed the villain changed these villain to these shapeshifters, and it's just like, why? You could have made it so much more interesting. Just focus on Jean Grey, have her be the sole thing, make her scary, make her actually, you know.
I'm probably giving it a 4 because I'm very new to this Marvel universe, this new one. So I'm very excited about it and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm kind of wanting to enjoy it more than. I think if I look back at this in a few weeks, I'll probably think, no.
You'll rewatch it and you'll be like, this is terrible. To be fair, I was like, in the film, I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. And then I came out, and the more I thought about it, I was like, what? Like, I honestly think this is the worst X-Men film so far. Like, what we'll do is we'll rank our X-Men films, but I really did not like this film. And I think the other X-Men films were rated poorly, like Last Stand and Origins. I didn't think they were that bad. I actually quite liked them. But this one, it honestly felt like fan-4 and I hate fan-4. I'm not gonna watch this again ever. Like, never gonna watch this again. I don't think. I mean, to be fair, it's like 20 minutes long, so I guess I could probably just splash it out in like.
20 minutes long?
No, it's like an hour and a half. But
It's an hour 45.
yeah, but for like a film like this, you want it to have girth.
Do you know what? Now sitting here